Hello, everyone. My name is Heath, and I'm here today to talk to you guys about media. I'm here to talk to you guys about how media is affecting America's pastime, professional baseball. Um, I'm going to start by breaking down America's pastime into 3 points of tradition, community, and shared love. So, is truly called America's pastime because that's what it is. It has always been there. There's always been a huge tradition of baseball. There's always been an awesome community around baseball, and across the country and across the world, um, there's a shared love for baseball from all across the country, all different countries. The professional leagues are filled with players um, from different countries. So I think tradition, community, and shared love for the game are three are truly the purpose of baseball. It truly is what professional baseball should be now. The world is changing. The world is obviously changing. The world is changing every single day in terms of media, and baseball is taking a hit from media as well. So I broke down what media is doing. I also want to talk about media is not always bad, so I'll talk about that as well. But to start, I want to talk about three problems that the media is causing. I want to start by talking about the pressure that media is causing, the narratives that the media is creating around baseball, as well as just the fact that these players and coaches and organizations are constantly under a microscope from media. So with those three being said, I also want to talk about how media is not always a bad thing in terms of media. Baseball is growing. The rules are changing due to the media. It's definitely a sport that kind of is on the rise. It kind of died out for a little bit, and I think the media is also playing a big role in bringing it back. It's playing a big role in bringing the younger generation into the sport. And creating interest around America's pastime, which is great. That's awesome. However, like I said, there's pressure, there's narratives, and these players are constantly under a microscope as well, which is definitely changing the layout of baseball. So really what brought me to think about, or what made me want to talk about this topic, there's a recent Netflix documentary about the Boston Red Sox that came out. And in an episode, it features Jarren Duran, a very promising young baseball player. And in this documentary, he comes out about his experience with mental health caused by the media. Duran stated he talked about a few suicide attempts. He talks about how baseball truly was a problem for his mental health, especially coming up as a young player. He even used the quote, "I felt like a zoo animal." So that brings up my point about being under the microscope and pressure. He truly felt, and reading this quote really made me want to talk about this topic. He felt like he was a zoo animal under the pressure and the microscope of the media. And this is one of baseball's youngest stars. I mean, he's very promising. He's a great player, but these mental challenges that come with the sport and the media that comes around it is truly alarming. As a high school baseball player, even I feel like I have experienced media. I have experienced players getting interviews. I've experienced players getting big heads. I've experienced players getting bashed in the media, and it truly does affect people. And America's pastime, that's not what it's all about. It's not at all what it's all about. It's clearly changing. So I did break down 3 things that us as fans can start trying to be better at, trying to do, just to maybe bring back a little bit of tradition, a little bit of community, and a little bit of love back to baseball. So I broke it down into we need to start being more critical consumers. I think oftentimes us readers, and I pulled up many headlines, many titles of news articles. Oftentimes as consumers, we blindly accept headlines. It's very easy to read what we see in a headline, share it out, talk about it, talk about how, oh, this guy is not a good person because he did this, he did that. And that really goes with the microscope I was talking about. So I think as fans, it is important for us to be critical consumers, not listen to everything we see. A lot of these media guys, they're trying to make money. A lot of these media employees, they need money, and how they do that is by creating narratives and putting players under the microscope that I talked about. Back in the day, we had newspapers and local news stations that would talk about baseball, talk about the local teams' games. It really wasn't any of this pressure. There wasn't any narratives being created by the media. It was truly what was actually going on. And I think that's part of why baseball became considered America's pastime. Like I said, it's all about tradition, community, and a shared love. Another thing that I believe us fans can do to help is support quality journalism. Like I said, local newspapers, local news stations that are truly giving us the true facts that are in front of us. We don't need all these narratives. We don't need all these microscopes. If we truly want to bring baseball back and help it survive this media crisis that we have going on, I think supporting quality journalism as a fan is a great step to doing that. Another thing that I want to talk about is constructive conversations. So I feel like oftentimes, you go on an MLB page, you go on an ESPN page, it's super easy to just see people arguing, see all these people bashing people in the comments section, bashing people with their own posts. ESPN consistently bashes people, consistently creates narratives, and consistently puts players under a microscope. But I think the more us fans are able to have constructive conversations, the better and the more pure that baseball and the community can truly become. Because, like I said, we need to get it back to a community, a shared love, and a tradition. The final point that I have, or the final suggestion I have for us fans, is just remember why we love the game. I've been playing baseball since I was 3 years old because of my brothers playing in the backyard. And I think baseball truly does have a tradition like that. A lot of people say the same thing. A lot of people have the same stories. A lot of people have similar stories. A lot of people have different stories. A lot of people came from overseas, different countries. So I think really just the love of the game needs to help bring us all together, rather than create all these pressure, create all these narratives, and consistently put players under a microscope. I think if we truly just go back to, the reason we love the game, the reason we fell in love with the game, I think it's going to be I think baseball is going to become a lot stronger. I think the tradition, the community, and the love is going to come back. And, I truly think baseball, can continue to rise with the media, but also stay pure, stay true, stay with tradition. So just to wrap it all up, media right now in baseball is causing pressure, narratives, and it's putting a lot of athletes under a microscope, whereas I believe fans need to get back to tradition, community, and a shared love.